alone in the game room with Lona Gamer Alex.
The rest is in order.
You may sleep in light and or medium armor without becoming fatigued. Is that really a thing? Do you have to take off your armor before you go to sleep? I mean, what the fuck?
A rest is in order. It is done.
How may I serve you?
I found the temple of the elk and killed the beast there.
Erastil be praised, you finally returned, my good friend. Tristan told me how you helped him at the Temple of the Elk. Thank you for heeding my request. My heart is calm and filled with confidence that I've followed the will of my God. I would like to reward your bravery. I possess no treasure, but please, take this as a token of appreciation. As far as I know, your next target looks to be the Stag Lord himself. With the Temple of the Elk cleansed of evil, the fog surrounding us should disperse to reveal the path to the brute's lair. Of course, magic so powerful is unlikely to disappear all at once. Bide your time. Follow up on other concerns while you wait. I will gladly aid you on your noble quest. Erastil himself foresaw our meeting.
Do you understand the true meaning of your visions now?
I trust in their truth. These visions, they were the voice of Erastil himself, quiet but clear. Before all this happened, I believed Erastil had turned his back to me. But now, I see clearly. He has shown me divine mercy, for he has led me to you and invited me to aid in a fellow priest's deliverance. Lady Sarenrae and Erastil walk the paths of the gods hand in hand, and so must their servants as well. Tristan is undoubtedly still very young, and youth is a time of naivete and confusion. but I see kindness and strength of spirit in him, traits indispensable to a priest. I sense that all that's transpired thus far is only the beginning, and the future promises great things for Tristan and for you. This is why Erastil led me to the Temple of the Elk. Day and night I pray for you and for my young friend. May the stag god lead you down the true path. As you wish. That's why I'm here. I trust in that Tristan is undoubtedly still very young, and youth is a time of naivete and confusion. But as you wish.
So, I'm chieftain of your new tribe. What do you expect of it? Tribe always must have plenty of food. Tribe's enemies must be tough, not some easy scum. Tribe's fighter must challenge the strongest enemies. Also, well, Amira contemplates deeply. You must rule the tribe, make big decisions. She waves her hand vaguely. So you have proven yourself to be a mighty warrior? I may have. The trial is finished, and if someone ever doubt me, I prove it. We doubt you because you died fighting that boar. Amiri shakes her fist at the unseen offender. And then apparently it's okay to just, participate as quickly as possible instead of letting her just embarrass herself. Talking. Okay.
No stopping now. A rest is in order.
This is near from what we talked to him about at the temple. About myself, I wouldn't know where to begin. Tristan pauses for a moment in thought. You know my name, my faith. I follow Saren Ray, and I have traveled from the Padishah Empire of Kalish to here. What else do you want to know? The vast Padishah Empire of Kalish dominates much of south-central Casmaron. It grew during the Age of Destiny, and its line of emperors has been unbroken for thousands of years. Half a dozen satrapies the size of countries separate Kadira and the imperial heartland of Kalesh. Each satrapy pays homage to the decree of the empire, but the grip of the empire is looser and farther one goes from its heart. Forgive me, but from your manner and appearance, you don't strike me as the Kalishite. Tristan smiles softly. You have nothing to apologize for. Truly, I have received my name and appearance from my parents, who had come from Kalash from afar. I never knew them, for the late had separated us when I was young. For the fate has separated us when I was young. So I grew up in Kalash, raised by the followers of Saren Ray. My home is where my heart is, within the temples of the great goddess, among the wise and generous men that took upon themselves the care of a child that was so unlike them. I learned mercy and patience at an early age, and it's these virtues that have made me the man I am today. Do you enjoy traveling? Tristan nods, his eyes light up. Oh yes, no library and no archive, however large, would have ever allowed me to learn as much of the world as I have in my journeys. It was only outside the temple walls I realized every living being is a world unto themselves, a world where many contradictions and passions coexist. Each realm leaves its mark on the lives that live there. Only by visiting it, by breathing the same air, walking on the same soil, can you understand its people, what derives them, what frightens them, their dreams, and how they honor their gods. Doesn't being outside the temple make you uncomfortable? Tristan shakes his head. There are many ways to honor one's god, Ingrid Dikvala. It is true shrines play a role in lives of many faithful, but even more find other ways to serve Serenity. The healing light values good deed above all else. I cannot stand by and watch evil claim others. Tristan thinks for a moment, then raises an eyebrow. Perhaps that is not the reason why I chose to go on my pilgrimage, leaving behind the temples of Kalash. Tristan touches his chest. My faith is in my heart and in my hands. Millions honor Serenre in her temples, and my soul is filled with joy when I think of their devotion to the goddess. Nevertheless, my path is a different one. Do you know where you're going next? No, my thoughts were far from it. For my mission here is not yet done. Tristan stares at you in surprise. Why do you ask? Do you wish me to leave your lands? To the contrary, I hope you will stay with me for as long as you can. The thought of you leaving is not a welcome one. Is this a romance option? Tristan nods, smiling. I, too, would not welcome the thought of leaving you. Tristan pauses, then gives a rueful smile, shaking his head. My apologies. I don't know what came over me. I simply wanted to say I won't leave you until you ask me to. And still, I hope that won't happen. Tristan stops, his face red. They're all attracted to this old hag. What can you tell me of Serenre? Serenre is the goddess of temperance and patience. Solar flame goddess teaches us compassion for the weary and mercy to those who go astray. What would you like to know of her? I'd like to hear about the history of your faith. There is much to tell, but I'm afraid I would miss the mark, and I fear I would bore you. Is there something specific you wish to know? How did Serenre come to be? Serenre is one of Glorian's eldest deities. Once, she was an angel who had gathered the armies of her celestial allies behind her. The battle in which she showed her valor decided the fate of the world, the whole world, and in her victory, she was awarded with divinity. In the sacred text, Serenre is shown as a beautiful bronze-skinned maiden, her hair dancing flame. Tristan smiles slightly, but her appearance is not what matters. It is the grace she brings with a touch, healing and salvation. Tell me about this battle you mentioned. What was the act of valor of Serenre? Her greatest moments of glory is her battle against the monstrous Ravagog, who threatened to destroy the Galorian. Serenre delivered the strike that staggered the horrendous creature and allowed her allies to shackle it. Once the rough beast was captured, the goddess split the earth, and the god threw the behemoth into the depths. Once it was done, the goddess sealed the pit and commanded her faithful to stay away from the scar that was left in the land. Imprisoned since the age of creation, the god Ravagad, also known as the Rough Beast, the Great Destroyer, and the World Breaker, seeks only to destroy creation and the other gods. Believed to be imprisoned in a state of torpor somewhere deep within Galorian, his increasingly restless stirrings are taken by many to be the cause of volcanic activities and earthquakes. His worshippers are known for embodying the god's dominion over destruction, disaster, and wrath. Christian falls silent for a few moments. Alas, mortal beings are imperfect. Not even the most faithful among us can always follow their deity's commandments, even when such commandments are meant to save the world and their followers. I, for one, pray the goddess is never again as furious as she was with Gormless. You mentioned Gormless. What happened to it? Tristan sighs. An era of faith, perhaps a lesson, but it speaks of danger when one listens to mortal words and one stops listening to their faith. Serenre forbade her followers from coming near the place of Ravagog's imprisonment. But some of her priesthood misread her will and began to preach of a sacred place where the mightiest of temples dedicated to the goddess were to be constructed. The people listened to these sermons and went forth to lands touched by Serenre's scimitar. On the scar that sealed the well, they founded Gormes, a holy city that was to become the greatest monument to Serenre. Unsurprisingly, as the city was built, faithful from all Galorian traveled there to worship. Misinterpreting their goddess's warnings to avoid its location, instead believing Gormes to be a holy city of Serenre, people from all over Casmeron flocked there for millennia, but were slowly corrupted by the imprisoned god Rovagog's dreams. Serenre continued sending portents and visions to her faithful in Gormes during this period, but they were ignored and misinterpreted. She finally sent a herald of Kohal to the people of Gormes in 3923 AR, but they had been so corrupted that they destroyed them instead. In an act of great wrath, Serenre smote Gormes with a scimitar, destroying it completely, and creating an enormous rent in the earth that eventually became known as the Pit of Gormes. From this great chasm have emerged some of the most powerful and destructive creatures in the world's history, known collectively as the spawn of Rovagog. It's interesting. Serenre sent omens and visions, urging her followers to leave this dangerous place filled with the dark will of the shackle Rovagog. But in their pride, the people misinterpreted or ignored her signs altogether, for they had already come under Rovagog's influence. Finally, the goddess sent her herald to the city, but the fanatics killed him. Realizing the people had turned from her, the enraged goddess smote Gormes, raising it from the pit of Galorian with a single strike of her scimitar. Tristan shakes his head. Today it's called the Pit of Gormes, a well of pain and suffering. The Pit of Gormes is a 20-mile wide chasm located in the wind-swept waste of eastern Casmeron. Over thousands of years, a dozen spawn of Rovagog have emerged from the pit to threaten Galorian, and legends tell that the god Rovagog himself is bound at the bottom of the pit in time immemorial. Tell me about the Pit of Gormes. Tristan shakes his head. There's a great crevasse in the eastern Casmeron. The lands surrounding it are dead, soaked in poison. The Pit of Gormes seems bottomless until someone dares to gaze into its depth. All who have dared tell of a strange distant glow, a glow that followed them in their dreams ever since. Casmeron is a large continent to the east of both Evistan and Garund. It is dominated politically by the Empire of Kalash, a vast realm that extends even into Evistan. Kadira is its westernmost satrapy. Throughout all of history, the Pit of Gormes has spawned creatures, hideous beasts of overwhelming power, and driven by only a single desire, to destroy everything they see. Some were defeated, such as the nightmarish Ulunat, whose carapace to this day tower above the capital of Seren. Others proved too strong to be defeated by mortal hands. Tristan frowns. The most terrible of them was the Tarask, the Armageddon engine, who to this day lies dormant deep beneath Evistan. One of the first civilizations to rise in the wake of Earthfall, Siren is one of the greatest empires in the history of Galorian, a nation of great knowledge, wealth, and power. This ancient land harbors pyramids, mummies, terrible curses, and endless sand, as well as culture steeped in proud traditions, devout respect for the gods, dedication to communal service, and unswerving devotion to its rulers. Osiren today is just emerging from millennia of Kalashite rule and regaining their legacy of the pharaohs supplanted by these foreign oppressors. Evistan is the continent of the world of Galorian, one of the most heavily settled areas of the planet. Evistan possesses as many varied cultures and environments as the other continent in the world. In an ancient history stretching back tens of thousands of years, Brevoy, the River Kingdoms, Numeria, and stolen lands were all situated on Evistan. Have wars ever been waged in Surenre's name? Tristan sighs. Alas, yes. Terrible battles were once fought between the followers of Nethys, Norgober, and Surenre in the land known as the Rahadon. To my shame, I must admit this conflict was started by my brothers and sisters. They came to a foreign land to make way for the goddess's light with sword and fire. Nethys, also known as the All-Seeing Eye, is a Garundi god who holds knowledge and magic above all things. He gained enough power to witness all things, and this both fuel his divinity and shatters his mind. He is a god of magic, torn between destroying the world with one hand and saving it with the other. Norborger is known as the once mortal god of thievery and assassination, as well as keeper of secrets. He is called the Reaper of Reputation by some, but he has more insidious titles among worshippers who venerate his idol at three aspects: Bright Fingers, Father Skinsaw, and Grey Master. He remains an enigma to most, but his true motives are unknown. Many of his followers remain ignorant of his plans and designs. Norborger is the only evil god amongst the Ascended. The nation of Rahadum in northwestern Garun is unusual in that it is the only nation known to have forbidden the practice of any and all religions in the wake of the Oath Wars, which raged centuries ago between the faiths of Nethys, Norborger, and Surenre. So at least something good came out of that conflict. The only place in the world that forbid the practice of any and all religion. That's the place to be, Rahadum. That calamity became known as the Oath Wars, a catastrophe that led the inheritors of Rahadum to deny all gods, banning all faiths from their lands. Alas, the mortal vessel is imperfect, and even a pure faith may be distorted by blind ambition. Tristan goes silent for a moment, and great suffering may occur in its name. How is Surenre worshipped? Many worship Solar Flame Goddess in their temples. Some make the pilgrimage to the Everlight Oasis, but even those who do not serve the goddess directly rarely shun festivities dedicated to her, the Sun-Rot Festival for one. A holy site for the followers of Surenre is situated in Zel Shabar, a satrapy of the Empire of Kalesh in Casmeron. The oasis is said to have healing and rejuvenating qualities, and followers of the Sun Goddess come from far and wide to bathe in the water and to commune with fellow members of the faith from other lands. Unfortunately, with the pilgrims come those who wish to prey upon them, and some of them end up robbed or beaten, or worse. Tell me what the temples of Surenre like. Surenre's shrines are often open to the sky and to the goddess's life-bringing sunlight. Her light fills the temple, enshrouds the parish in warmth, and grants its blessing to all in need. In Kalesh, crowds gather during the services so that all may feel the blessing of the goddess. The most ingenious devices are constructed by some of the faithful to please the goddess. I have seen a temple of Surenre which houses a complicated array of mirrors, all to direct the light of the sun to the altar. Tell me about the Everlight's Oasis. I have never been there, but the stories say that it's a wondrous place, sacred to Surenre's faithful. The oasis is located in Zel Shabar, which lies in Casmeron. Pilgrims from throughout Gularian travel there, seeking the goddess's blessing. Satrapy of the Emperor of Kalash, situated at the edge of the Empire's imperial lands, whose claim to fame is that it's located on the Everlight Oasis. Location of the Everlight Oasis is a site of pilgrimage for followers of Surenre. According to legend, the waters of the Everlight Oasis are imbued with healing properties, and anyone who bathes in them shall be cured of any ailment. Tristan smiles in thought. Just imagine a place where people from around the world come together to worship. What stories they must share. What is the Sun-Rot Festival? The Sunlight Festival takes place on the day of the summer solstice, when the prayers of the flock can reach Serenre the easiest. On this day, Kalash blooms with color. In each corner of the Pradesha Empire, people praise the goddess by dancing and singing, setting off fireworks and flying kites. I hope this beautiful custom shall one day reach your lands as well, Ingrid Digfola. No, I don't want you to implement your religion in my barony. That is all I wanted to know about this. What are the teachings of Serenre? Sullivan goddess is a light of salvation, even to those who have been forsaken by other gods. She teaches us mercy and forgiveness, for as long as they may be useful to a soul's salvation. You make it sound like the followers of Serenre will try to find good even in abandoned with the knife through their throat. Do not mistake compassion for weakness, Ingrid Digfuller. One hand of Serenre is shrouded in a healing light, the other holds a scimitar. Following their goddess, the priests learn to wield this weapon starting in childhood, and they do not hesitate to use it if a dispute cannot be settled peacefully. Serenre preaches mercy, yet her compassion is not infinite. We give a second chance to all who ask, but if they reject it, if they persist in their sins, they will face the goddess's retribution. Are there any undeserving of mercy? Christian blindly gazes past you in the distance for several moments. When he speaks again, his voice is quiet, reflective, as if echoing his thoughts. Undeserving of mercy, would even Serenre herself find the compassion to? Christian shudders, as if awakening from a trance. Forgive me, your words, they're not easy ones to reconcile, and even priests such as I, we debate them to this day. What is the point at which soul is irredeemable, or is it a failing of the priests themselves? These are difficult questions to ask Ingrid Digfuller, questions wise men have debated for centuries. Does a being that has been tainted by evil to its very roots, that reject its own salvation, still deserve compassion? Can those compelled to do evil by others still seek forgiveness? There is no easy answers to these issues among Serenre's followers. As for me, I believe that every soul carries the potential for goddess within, no matter the crime. The guilty may find forgiveness if they repent and cast off the evil that led to the deed. I believe this with all my heart, Ingrid Digfuller. There is good in everyone. One just has to look deep enough. Even those who feel lost or broken or unrepented might have light in their souls, and it's possible to help to see. I don't know if I believe in that. And that's chaotic good, really? I'm gonna go with lawful good with this one. And that's chaotic good. There's good in everyone. One has to look deep enough. I don't believe in that. Even those feel lost or broken or invented heaven. No. And they consider that chaotic good, huh? Okay, I do not agree. There are crimes that cannot go unpunished. Christian folds his arms. What is of greater importance, a living soul or the laws of nations? I'm not just talking about laws of nations here. I'm just talking about some deeds, even if you don't look at it in the lens of the law, are just not irredeemable. One's salvation or observance of rules. Know that I hold you in high esteem, but it is difficult for me to agree with you in this issue. What are your duties as a follower of Serenre? My goddess strives to see the best, even in the dark gods. She ever abandons the hope of redemption. She never abandons. The priest of Serenre follows her teachings, akin to the healing light herself, who emanates warmth and heeds the call of those in need. We aid the suffering in body and spirit throughout glory. The priests of Serenre are willing to help anyone, no matter the faith of the one in need. Each plea must be heard. Every misfortune deserves compassion, be it a peasant seeking a blessing for the harvest or a murderer seeking repentance the night before their execution. Sometimes the mercy of Solar Flame Goddess is the last thing that can save one's soul from ruin. We have no right to withhold it from the truly repentant. But I guess the difference between reality and these fantasy games, you know, here supposedly these things have been proven that these gods, these beings, these deities exist. Or have they been proven in this particular world? I don't know, because I'm not familiar with the Pathfinder lore. But magic is real also. I'd like to ask you something. Okay, the more I hear, the more it seems surrender isn't worth it. Truly, the goddess does not demand of you, nor anyone. She only seeks to help. Why do you dismiss her? I'm just against all religions, Tristan. I'll just go with, your religion is foreign to me, Tristan. Perhaps I shouldn't have put it away the way I did. But surrender ways are much different than my own. We're all different. Allies needn't share faith as long as they stand together. He nods quickly and gives a faint smile. His dick is wilted now. I've heard enough of surrender. What brought you to these lands? I've heard rumors. They say these lands are cursed, and curses are growing stronger. As if something is granting them power. I could not ignore such rumors. What curses are you talking about? Tristan cocks his head to the side in wonder. Do you not see? Every word uttered in the heat of an argument turns into a prophecy here, just waiting to fulfill itself. And if it were only for the people, the land itself is seething with curses so ancient their origins are impossible to trace. Take the abandoned temple of Erasto, where we met. I've never read Erasto. I thought I did. Yeah, I think I did. Hunter Gatherers, whatever. What happened to it? What force compelled the priest to leave such a magnificent temple behind to the whims of nature? Will we ever know? I myself was nearly slain by beasts. Fortunately, you came along, following Jad, and saved me. I owe you a great debt. You've come a great distance, indeed. Tristan laughs heartily. When you look at it that way, then yes. But please, do not think that I came all the way from Kalash because of mere curiosity. I was wondering long before that. It is a custom of our faith. The farther our paths take us, the more people we may help. Why did Jad see you in his premonition? Serenre sees all the good gods and goddesses as her allies. Many have fought alongside the goddess against the menace of Rovagog, the rest though among them. By offering my prayer to Serenre, I let her know of my misfortune in the Temple of the Elk. The merciful goddess did not ignore my plea, but whom could have she asked for aid than Erasto, whose faith is strong in these lands? Erasto has sent Jad a sign, and you came just in time to rescue me, Tristan sighs. To tell the truth, I was certain my journey was at an end, and those creatures were to be the death of me. You have spent much time here. What do you think of the future holds for these lands? These are cruel lands. As I came here, I bore witnesses much pain and suffering, but I have seen equal kindness among those seeking to protect themselves and their loved ones. The people of the stolen lands are resolute and true to themselves. I admire their strength. Alas, I do not know yet what powers the curses that flourish in this land. But I swear I will not leave until we have the answer and the means to cleanse them. You must forgive me for not swearing on Serenre's name, but as of late I have troubled the goddess too much as it is, and it would better serve her through action, not prayer. You call yourself the chosen of Serenre. What did you mean by that? Sorry, that was a mere jest. Other acolytes in my temple used to tease me with that title. This should tell you how pious and devoted I was compared to them. And yet my faith is strong. Serenray knows this and protects me in times of great peril. If something ever threatens my life, by her divine powers, I'm transported to a safe location. Really? So what was he saying
How may I
about...
serve you? That's why I'm here. I trust in their truth. These visions, Christian is undoubtedly still very young, and youth is a time of naivete and confusion. But I see kindness and strength of spirit in him, traits indispensable to a priest. I sense that all that's transpired thus far is only the beginning, and the future promises as you wish.
Okay. I just didn't catch the whole thing about, so it's like they both pray to two different gods. Okay.
Adventures await.
Alright, let me just finish up leveling up these characters, and then I think I'm gonna go for now. But what kind of magic is this? It doesn't even say, so how would we know? They don't make this easy on you. It's like, yeah, spell focus, but we don't know what kind of spells, like, it's here, but it doesn't even tell you what classification of spell this is. It's like, why can't it just, the information be right here, you know? It doesn't have to be that hard. Supernatural, that's considered supernatural? What? Yeah, see, I mean, this is what I mean when I said at the beginning of my playthrough here that this game, like the system, I'm not sure. I'm sure it's not this game in itself, but the Pathfinder system is problematic in a way where they try to make things complicated for complexity's sake. But it could be the game. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's seemingly maybe because... But how is it laid out? Like... I think the game could have definitely helped. Maybe it is the way that they... Maybe because the system is so complicated and so many different shit in it that it's hard for them to focus and trying to make sure that things are as easily translated to the digital realm, like into a video game. Like, but I think this is like this should have been an easy fix. Like, you're trying to level up your character, right? And it's telling you that you can level up spell focus, and then all these different spells are here. Like over here, when you mouse over these, it should tell you what kind of spell type they are, but it's not even showing here. And even this one is showing supernatural in the other screen. It's not even saying that it's supernatural here. And what kind, and supernatural spells considered what? It's not even a spell, it's an ability, I guess. So it's yeah. It's like, it's very yeah. I mean, weapons, yeah, you know, you can see what kind of weapons, you know, but everything else is just something else. You have to figure it out. I mean, they don't make it very user-friendly to figure out some of these things. I'm just gonna go with endurance. I mean, and then like here, like, why can't I just easily access the characters' like inventory and stuff while I'm trying to level up the character? Okay, it's a flail. I'm gonna go with flail focus, I guess. Okay, and then Magus Eldritch Scion. The fuck is this shit? It's a Magus Eldritch Scion. Unlike typical magi, Eldritch Scions do not study tomes of magical spell learning to combine martial and magical skills. Rather, Eldritch Scions find their spells and abilities come to them instinctively. I like the idea. I really do. But he's another one of those, like, he's a melee, another melee, they like to do melee classes in this game. Like, a majority of these characters are like melee characters. Like, this is like a melee mage. Persuasion and magic device, huh? And athletic. Okay, I like that. Weapon focus. I don't know what kind of weapon you use, dude. Now we have to go back. What do you like to use? Do you like to use like a conjured up what kind of spells? I guess yeah, what is this? Spell strike. Weapon that he's wielding, spell combat. Okay, I need to read all of these when it comes to this character, but what kind of... He's also using a scimitar. Do you want to just use a scimitar? Is that what your favorite weapon is? Like 1 to 6. S-stop is 2 to 8. Piercing versus slashing. Do we want piercing or do we want slashing? That's already 2 characters with, but I changed him into wielding a bow. Because I was done. I was done with him being fucking melee. Maybe he should be melee. The problem with a healer, melee healer, is just seeking for, you know, looking for trouble. It's like he is like not even... The only melee healer class should be a cleric. You know, I guess technically this is a cleric, but it has to be a tanky character. But these, like, I mean, he's not even very tanky. The dwarf is not very tanky, and he's pure cleric. Like this guy. A specific cleric that I guess focus on healing, and they want him to melee? You know, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You're not gonna be able to survive. Once the enemies just like focus on you, you're just dead. It's like this melee healing classes are just like really. They have to be mega tanky. If not, they're not gonna survive. I mean, even the dwarf itself is like dead after 2 hits, so it's it's crazy. This game is nuts. Okay, so you like the scimitar. Maybe we can focus on the scimitar, I guess. See, that's why I hate doing weapon specialization, because it's like, what happens if you find the cooler weapons later, you know? I mean, it's... I hate doing weapon specialization. We'll do something else for you. Okay, in melee, every time you miss because of concealment, you can reroll your miss. Okay, but because of concealment, well, that's actually might have been good with to fight those enemies that we fought earlier at the temple. We should do dodge for him because he's gonna be meleeing anyway. All these melee fucking. Melee freaking casters. Arcane accuracy. Wand wielder. Okay, now. And then now it's like, okay, well, do you want to use a wand? Okay, you can only do one or the other, really. I mean, if this is supposed to be like a melee mage, then why were they asking? Okay, I hate this game now. 3 spells a day, modified by the reach spell. What? Reach magic? What is a fucking reach magic? I don't even know what that is. And then they don't explain it. See, I mean, they have to. Maybe like when they made this game, it's like they really made it just for people who really understand the Pathfinder system. But it's. I mean, that's not the approach that you want to have when you're trying to make people, you know, who don't understand, who's trying to get into the game and get into this whole Pathfinder situation. You have to give us the details. What do you mean, reach spell? What? Can cast 3 spells per day as if those spells were modified by reach spell. What is a reach spell feature? Extend spell. Okay, what the fuck is that? I guess we'll just go with arcane accuracy. Insight bonus equal to his charisma bonus in all attack rolls. I don't think he has charisma, does he? Okay, and then now I have to check to see what his stats. Okay, and then we have to go back. See, I mean, it's just it's not very intuitive. His charisma, oh, he has good charisma. Okay, so he focuses on charisma, looks like in dex and strength. Okay. Constitution, not really, so he's gonna be dead after 3 hits. God damn. Oh, wait, class, what are skills? What did we give him? Endurance, right? Oops. Oh yeah, because of charisma. Okay, now he gets another spell. He got Shocking Grasp, True Strike, Mage Armor, Shield, so maybe... Okay, and then notice how here they actually... Okay, because these are spells. So if they're spells, they will list the type of spell it is. And I think if they're just abilities, I think they need to put abilities or something like that, so we don't get confused. Reduce percent? Grease. But this includes allies and enemies, looks like. Because focus, so that's enemies red and then allies blue. Flare burst. Sure. Activia already has color spell. Maybe Activia can focus on large person. Burning hands. That also hits your ally. Jesus. We'll go with corrosive touch because he's going to be right there next to their asses anyway.
Arrest is in order. Spiked heavy shield. Okay. Is that what she's using now? Tower shield. Tower shield is not even shown here. I guess these are just abilities. But I don't have a spike. Okay, I don't know. Heavy shield, okay. See, I mean, once you have that spiked heavy shield, wouldn't that be better? You know? Oh, it's a tower shield. Okay, that's different. Yeah, I don't know. It's just bastard sword. We'll go with endurance. That's the easiest freaking option. She already has endurance. Dodge and toughness. Oh, there's toughness also. Where's endurance? She already has tower shield proficiency. Okay, and shield proficiency. She already has endurance. Okay. Okay. Great fortitude, I guess. Die hard. What kind of armor she's using now? Going back and forth and shit. She's doing heavy. Okay, we can do heavy armor. Teamwork, huh? Okay. That's pretty good, but I guess we better start working on this. Because this forces you to get one of these. Since Valor is going to be at the front with that big shield, maybe shielded caster would be good. Coordinated defense is also good. She has access to blast. That's interesting. Remove fear is good, but he's a She cast Bless and she's dead. It's funny. Is that everybody? That is everybody. Oh, no. No, I don't have time, so I can go. Let me see if I can just do hers real quick.